Bitcoin has been falling all this week, and this has huge impact on crypto ETFs that I'm going to talk about. And these ETFs are those ETFs that pay weekly. So we're going to review two ETFs here that have been impacted. Bitcoin itself today went down about over 10%. And if you look within 5 days, has gone up about 15%. 1 month performance has returned negative 30%. If we look at 6 months, has returned negative 43%. Year to date, 25%. 1 year, negative 32%. 5 years though was still up about 67%. And if you look at all return, has returned 14,000. This is a massive return. The two ETFs that I'm going to review today, the first one is Nikola's crypto ETF. This is an ETF that pays distributions, and it does have exposure to Bitcoin and also Ethereum. So as you can see, today has gone down about 10%. If we look at 5 days, has returned negative 24%. 1 month has returned 29%, and 6 months has returned negative 36%. If we look at year to date, negative 25. If we look at 5 years, has returned 27. And if I extend all the way to when it was incepted, has returned negative 28%. But this year is a Google Finance. It only shows you performance. It doesn't include all the distributions. So as you can see, these ETFs are one of the ETFs that have been affected a lot. But the only difference between person who owns the ETF like this one and the person who owns Bitcoin itself is that with this ETF, you are receiving those distributions and you'll be able to reinvest. And hopefully, if Bitcoin goes up, you can make money. Now, let me show you another very popular ETF that has been impacted with crypto returns. So before going there, guys, if you find value in these type of videos, please make sure you like this video. That will help us grow our channel. And if you don't want to miss any of the important updates I always bring to you, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that belly button so you can always receive notifications. And don't forget to share with someone you think this video might help. The other ETF I would like to show you today here is YieldMax MSTR option income strategy. This is one of the popular income ETFs. This ETF pays weekly. So today has returned negative 16%. So that's a little bit more than what Bitcoin has returned. But again, this ETF doesn't have actually 100% exposure to crypto like BLOX. BLOX has more correlation one-to-one with Bitcoin and Ethereum. This ETF here follows MicroStrategy, which has exposure to crypto. This ETF here writes and sells calls on MicroStrategy, which is a stock that holds a bunch of crypto, but it does not have correlation with crypto 100%. So the return is going to be different. So as you can see, 5 days has returned negative 23%. If we look at 1 month, has returned negative 35%. If we go to 6 months, has returned 79%. And year to date has returned negative 35%. 1 year has returned negative 85%. And if I extend it from the date it was incepted, that has returned negative 82%. Again, this is just a chart performance. It does not include all the distributions. In next chapter, I'm going to show you the real performance of BLOX and also MSTY. For people who are interested to know more about BLOX, I have made a video. I'm going to leave a link below. But in summary, BLOX is an actively managed exchange fund that provide exposure to blockchain technology to enhance income and provided portfolio diversification. The fund blend digital assets related investments and traditional income generating securities to capture growth potential in emerging technologies while maintaining a focus on risk adjusted return. As you can see, it does have exposure to Bitcoin and Ether, crypto industry companies, and does pay weekly distributions. More information about this ETF. It was incepted June 16th, 2025. Is traded on New York Stock Exchange. Management expense ratio is 1%. And when it comes to performance, as I've shown you, it has lost a lot of money. But since inception has returned 11%. This though is not updated to today loss. So if you include 10% that it has lost today, it's pretty much flat. But the good thing is this ETF has not lost its NAV. That means if you bought since it was incepted in June 2025, you haven't lost any money pretty much. So this is a good thing. When it comes to distribution history, they pay pretty consistent. You can see it's 13, 13, 14, 12. So round up around 13 cents per week. Very impressive. And if they pay 13 cents with the price of today, that's about 40% annual distribution rate. So getting 40% with exposure to crypto, that's not really bad. The only thing is that we need to see Bitcoin and all these crypto perform well in order for you to have outstanding performance. Otherwise, you're going to take all distribution, reinvest, and of course, you are not going to have NAV erosion. The second ETF here in details is MSTY. I have made a lot of video about MSTY because this is a very popular ETF. So for people who don't know about MSTY, which I doubt very few wouldn't, but if you want to know more about this fund, you can watch a video I made about MSTY. I can leave a link below. But in short, YieldMax MSTR option income strategy is an actively managed exchange traded fund that seeks to generate weekly income by selling call options or call spreads on MSTR. MSTR is a stock that Michael Saylor is a CEO of that company. The strategy is designed to capture option premium while providing participation in the share price appreciation of MSTR. As I've said, this ETF does not have correlation with a crypto one-to-one, but it does have exposure of Bitcoin through a MicroStrategy stock. Investment objective, as usual, is the fund primary investment objective is to seek current income. The fund secondary investment objective is to seek exposure to the share price of the common stock of MicroStrategy. Distribution not guaranteed and may vary, which is true because today they can pay 13 cents, tomorrow they can pay 14 cents, the next day they can pay 40 cents, 7 cents. It varies, right? This ETF was incepted February 21st, 2024, so it's been out for 2 years. Ticker symbol MSTR, trade on New York Stock Exchange. Management expense ratio, you're paying about 1%. It has been paying dividends for a long time. The last distribution they paid was January 30th, and the next distribution they're going to pay tomorrow, February 2nd, and that was 37 cents. And the next one they're going to pay is 31 cents. So there's a little bit of reduction of distribution as compared to those two payments they have been paying. And with the price of today and with that distribution, it does pay about 70% annual distribution rate. So it's a lot of distributions. And when we come to return, this ETF has returned 82%. Of course, this does not include the return of today. So if we put that return of today, because this website hasn't been updated, then it's going to be about 75% return. And that is cumulative, meaning if you reinvest all your distributions since MSTR was incepted, then this is its return. Annualized return is about 35%. So not bad, but of course, the hype of MSTR has died down, and that's why a lot of people are very disappointed with this ETF. So guys, I just made this video to give you a quick update on crypto ETFs, BLOX and MSTY, and explore if these two ETFs worth your investment capital. Again, these two ETFs will have outstanding performance. It all depends on where Bitcoin and crypto in general are headed. So if you're an investor who wants to take a risk, then those are the ETF you might be willing to explore. But if you don't want to do that, then you might want to stay away from these two type of ETFs. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you next video. Bye bye.